Warning: a slow economy, trillions of government debt, and a busy schedule are stealing your financial dreams. But I'm about to show you how to fight back with a powerful, proven strategy, beating the average annual return of the top 10 stocks over the past decade in its first 4 years, without relying on risky penny stocks, options, shorting, or margin, and how you can do this too in just 15 minutes per week. I'm about to share with you the exact strategy I now use for one of my largest trading accounts with incredible success over the past 4.5 years. But once enough people see this, I will have to take this presentation offline for reasons you're about to see. So take a few minutes now and learn this incredible new strategy while you still can. As you probably know, many people are seeking alternative investment strategies in droves for a portion of their overall portfolio. Why is that? Well, from my perspective, as an experienced investor and trader and concerned citizen, I can think of about 19 trillion reasons. Now, I could spend the next half hour giving you all the facts and figures, but I know your time is valuable. And I think we all know that government mismanagement and 19 trillion in debt has created an environment where weak economic growth is unfortunately now the norm. This has caused a slow economy, which has resulted in debilitating market returns for mutual funds and index funds. In fact, from the highs in 2000 to the highest last year, the S&P 500 has returned just about zero after inflation and fees and funds. Going forward, most experts will tell you to expect 4% to 5% returns or less, because we have low interest rates that cannot go any lower, which will limit bond returns, and enormous government debt has effectively brought economic growth to a standstill, robbing us of just decent returns in mutual fund and index funds. But 4% per year turns $20,000 into less than $30,000 over 10 years, even with compounding. Will most people reach their financial goals at this rate? Not likely. Investors are so desperate that many have turned to buying benign hunks of yellow metal that generate no additional value over time. But gold has been going down in value over the past several years. It may go up for a while, but many respected experts are saying gold has not much further to go. Certainly not the consistent, strong returns that most need to reach their financial goals, and the strategy I'm about to show you is still clobbering gold by a mile. So many people are actively searching for a way to get a higher return for just a small portion of their overall portfolio, and this is absolutely crucial to your financial future. This is because although $20,000 at 4% compounded turns into less than $30,000 in 10 years, 48% per year of the next decade with compounding again turns $20,000 into over $1 million. You can easily verify this by checking a free compound interest calculator online. That's why Albert Einstein is said to have said, "The power of compound interest is the most powerful force in the universe." So it's hard to argue that a high compound rate of return is the key to making your financial dreams a reality. It's really a must for most people for a small portion of your overall savings to reach your financial dreams. But how do you get a higher compound rate of return on that aggressive portion of your overall portfolio? One way is to buy and hold certain stocks, but you have about 1 in 1,000 chance of picking the right one. Pick 3, and your chances of getting a 5 to 10 bagger in 5 years is about 0. And it's really not much better for experts. Nothing wrong with buy and hold when done right, but it's very unlikely to deliver the return most Americans need in their aggressive portfolio over the next 10 years. Another possibility to make a higher rate of return is through becoming a top day trader. However, you need to give up a day job and probably your career and have a good mentor. But this is fraught with risks and challenges. Because the best day traders take years to learn an effective strategy, spending 10 hours each day to learn, blow up their account a few times, and most never make it. However, if you have a couple years of salary saved up, a great mentor, and want to go down that hard road, it can be worth it years later. But most do not have what it takes. A better method for most is through swing trading. Some strategies, such as the one I use on Tradetobefree.com, do not require you to quit your day job and can be very successful over time. However, it does take many hours each day if you go it alone. One of the problems for most traders, though, is that they reach a point where they are afraid to pull the trigger after a period of drawdown, and they start agonizing over buy-sell decisions each day. And they find life gets in the way of spending the hours each day required to get that higher rate of return they desperately need to make their financial dreams a reality. So many start overtrading, or revenge trading, as some call it, immediately trying to make up for a loss and start to take liberty with their buy-sell rules, causing costly mistakes. Instead of patiently waiting for an ideal trading setup and entry point and keeping a sharp, calm focus along the way. But with work and family obligations, most just cannot find the time each day to use a technical strategy properly on the best stocks in the market, and do it consistently for years. Because if you trade stocks, you need to use a great proven strategy consistently for a number of years, and the learning process is painful. Most do not have the time and inclination each day to learn and use technical analysis enough. Miss a few key weeks, and it can be an entire year of enormous gains lost. But what if there were a way to leverage the skills and experience of a successful trader to find the top 3 stocks in the market each week, and just ride those stocks higher while the fundamental and technical factors were ideal? Several years ago, some of my customers were asking for just that. In fact, some were just buying the top 2 stocks in my newsletter, ignoring the technical entry and exit points I gave, because they just don't have the time to do the technical analysis each day and manage their positions using buy-sell rules in the strategy. So it got me thinking, is there a way to use my skills and experience to help those who just do not have the time to trade? Can you still get a great rate of return by just holding certain stocks for that week without using technical analysis to pinpoint the exact entries and exits? Back in 2011, I set out to answer this question. After many months of proprietary screening, backtesting, and applying my technical analysis expertise, I found a method that found the best stocks each week to hold until the following Friday. Some of the backtests showed 300% gains total over a 5-year period that included the financial crisis. And this was before applying knowledge and expertise in technical analysis. After testing on a live account for a few months, with even better results after applying my technical analysis expertise to weed out likely losers, I was convinced that this could really help the vast majority of my audience. So I launched Tradetobefree.com in April of 2012. Most of my audience have a life outside the stock market, so they were thrilled with this new strategy that required just 15 minutes of their precious time per week. And many joined the service because it fit their schedule and had tremendous results. Back in 2012, I stuck my neck out and made a bold prediction that the new Tradetobefree.com 3 Stocks to Wealth newsletter could be a 5 to 10 bagger in 5 years based on my research. And after 4 years, it's still on track to do just that for those carefully following the instructions with compounding and full positions in the 3 Stocks to Wealth newsletter each week. And these instructions are very simple and take just 15 minutes per week with your subscription, always on Friday. It's very simple once you let me do all the hard work for you. In a few minutes, I'm going to tell you exactly how to execute this strategy in your aggressive portfolio. But this obliterated the biggest problem that was keeping many people from achieving success: the time needed, discipline, and psychological factors of trading. With this new approach, they were now able to consistently use a successful strategy each week, because it took just 15 minutes per week with my newsletter without agonizing over buy-sell decisions. No more concerns about being able to pull the trigger or using risky penny stocks or using leverage. The newsletter tells you exactly what quality stocks to sell and buy on Friday with no leverage. And more importantly, exactly how to do it to achieve returns matching the average annual returns of the top 10 stocks in the market over the past decade. And they are doing this without having to win the lottery by picking the one stock in 1,000 that will match this return. At the rate of return over the first 4 years of the 3 Stocks to Wealth newsletter, $20,000 turns into over $500,000 in 10 years before slippage, commissions, and fees with compounding. I'm about to show you how we virtually eliminate slippage later in this presentation. Here's the equity curve so far, turning $30,000 into nearly $130,000 with compounding before commissions and fees in the first 4 years. In fact, before the recent bear market in small caps, when the average small cap lost more than 30% of its value, the newsletter achieved a 4-bagger in less than 3.5 years. And this is with no shorting or leverage of any kind, and it's showing strong signs of starting its next leg higher right now as I record this. This annual rate of return over the first 3.5 years, around 50%, would be the number 1 performing stock over the past decade with compounding over a 10-year period. The best stock performers over the past decade actually compounded at less than 50% per year. But with compounding, a little less than 50% per year generates more than a 50-bagger in 10 years, more than a 5,000% return after a decade with annual compounding, turning a tiny nest egg of $20,000 into over $500,000 instead of less than $30,000 at 4% per year. Nearly $500,000 more in profits using a realistic and proven strategy before commissions and fees and very simple instructions each week. But I was still not satisfied with this completely. Some still want to have these kinds of gains with less volatility. So I went to work to find the best way to ride out periods of high volatility in the market, like we saw last year, again in just 15 minutes per week for my loyal customers. Over the past year, I've tested a lot of different strategies to reduce volatility, and found what I believe to be the best way to do it, so you can enjoy great returns with more peace of mind. And here's the same performance chart with adjustments to the strategy just for these periods of higher volatility over the past couple of years. Completely optional for those who use the service to build wealth. Here are the back-tested results. As you can see, this upgrade can give you terrific results with less volatility. Less volatility than nearly all top growth stocks with much more diversification. I've also added a system to review all of your entries and exits so you can pinpoint and correct them quickly. This could easily save you tens of thousands of dollars of lost profits over the next decade. Also included now are simple yet powerful methods to often get better prices when you enter one of the 3 stocks on Friday, which could boost the already incredible returns even more. Now, some of my customers wanted a way to make money while the market corrects as well, again without spending hours of trading per day or relying on risky penny stocks or options. A lot of them know how good my Tradetobefree.com strategy was to identify likely turning points for the market. I've dedicated the past 12 years of my life to analyze the market each day and find great trading opportunities and likely turning points for my customers on Tradetobefree.com because it's critical for success as a swing trader. Using my techniques on Tradetobefree.com, I went bearish in early December of 2015, early August of 2015, just before the flash crash of 2010, and all the sharp corrections in 2007 through 2009 during the financial crisis. And I used these same techniques to go bullish in March of 2009 and late January of 2016, and again on March 1st of 2016. So members of my audience asked for a way to make money during these corrections with the 3 stocks to wealth strategy. And I found the best way to do that for those with a busy schedule, using instruments that can be bought in an IRA and without risky or expensive options. These strategies to make money while the market corrects have the power to boost their incredible results we have seen over the first 4 years even more. And you can click the button below to start using this proven technique right now in your own aggressive portfolio. Now earlier I promised that I was going to show you exactly how to use a strategy to make your financial dreams a reality in just 15 minutes of trading per week. So here are the steps to get a much better rate of return in your aggressive portfolio and take back your financial dreams with the Invest Be Free Ultimate subscription in just 15 minutes per week. Now with the 3 Stocks Wealth newsletter, you receive the 3 stocks most likely to make big market beating gains over the next week, based on earnings estimate revisions, strong growth, technical trends, money rotation, and other critical factors. During periods of high volatility, there will be an option to hold certain ETFs that make money when the market pulls back, but only when the time is right. Okay, here are the steps. Step 1. You log in to see the latest 3 Stocks to Wealth newsletter on Thursday evening. Then you put in a market order with your online broker to sell the stocks coming off the list Thursday evening or before the market opens on Friday. We tell you which ones and which online brokers to use based on the size of your account. Step 2. Once those stocks sell at the market open, you immediately enter a buy limit order to purchase the new ones, splitting the money received from the sales about equally among the new stocks. You then set an alarm on your phone or computer for 3:45 p.m. each Friday. This is critical. If the buy limit order has not been filled at that point, you replace it with a market order. That's it. You're now done until next Thursday evening. You now hold our top 3 stocks most likely to make market-crushing gains over the next week using our strategy. Now you can easily do this from your smartphone, tablet, laptop, or computer, wherever you are. No need to jeopardize your day job with my proven strategy. It takes you just 15 minutes per week with the newsletter. We do all the hard work for you in finding the right stocks based on my strategy and over 10 years of expertise. Now, step 4. You repeat this process, the first 3 steps, each Friday and watch your account grow quickly over the years with the top 3 stocks each week. Now, not every trade will be a winner, of course, but the long-term results speak for themselves. A rate of return matching the average annual rate of return of the top 10 performing stocks over the past decade. Again, in just 15 minutes per week. And your life just got a lot easier in taking consistent strides towards your financial dreams. So enjoy more time with family, hobbies, heck, go fishing or catch a ball game if you like. I've made it as easy as possible for you to take advantage of my expertise to earn a very high rate of return in your aggressive portfolio over the years. So don't let a slow growth economy, bad government policies, or a busy schedule take away your financial dreams. Take them back right now by clicking the button below to get started immediately. Now, if you have not ordered yet, you probably have not been using my newsletters or blog posts over the past 10 years on Tradetobefree.com, so you may be skeptical. And I also wanted to mention that we have been proud members of the Better Business Bureau now since 2006 and have an A-plus rating and have served thousands of customers on Tradetobefree.com and InvestBeFree.com over the past 11 years. So this is not a typical flash-in-the-pan system, possibly doubling your account in a few months and then having 80% drawdown to blow up your account a couple months later. I've been serving thousands of customers for more than 10 years on Tradetobefree.com and InvestBeFree.com with these techniques and much less volatility. More than a decade with a superior long-term track record and use these trading techniques in my largest accounts each week to this day. So this introductory offer will not last. People are clamoring for this type of legitimate performance without risky penny stocks or leverage. But if the sheer number of customers start to affect results, I will be closing the doors to new customers to ensure we continue to see great results. So this may be your last chance to truly change your financial future while spending just 15 minutes per week. So if you have not clicked the button below yet to get started, when will you? When will it be time to finally take action? To fight back against a slow growth environment created by government mismanagement. If you're not making these kind of returns already, it's probably due to a fear of pulling the trigger, or maybe you're not finding the time to be consistent. Maybe you're using a strategy that has too much volatility and has not withstood the test of time. This strategy has. Think about it. Instead of spending hours a day researching, trying unproven strategies and unrealistic risky approaches involving leverage or penny stocks, you could spend just 15 minutes per week and make your life a whole lot simpler to achieve the returns that you need. Using a method is now proven over the past 4 years with an open hand. Now, fund managers cannot use this approach because they have to buy dozens of stocks. Yet only a few stocks really have the fundamental and technical characteristics that lead to market-crushing returns. Plus, the fund rules force them to hold a stock for several months to years, so they simply cannot use this powerful technique. But you can. And they have to put millions of dollars into each stock, so they have to scale into a position over weeks or months to avoid pushing the stock 10% or 20% higher immediately. And that is one of the reasons why this technique is so effective and why it's worked so well over a 4-year period. Because we get in with full positions as their immense buying power is beginning to push the stock much higher. So take advantage of this strategy while you still can. Just click the button below, fill out the order form, and get started. You only need to spend 15 minutes of your precious time each week to implement this strategy. And waiting any longer just means more lost profits that could have compounded at an incredible rate.